Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. The forces of Tzeentch threaten the Great Bastion, and Miao Ying, the Storm Dragon, will lead the forces of Grand Cathay against them in this domination-style game. For the units of Grand Cathay, they're going to be starting off with triple Jade Warriors, of course Miao Ying, and double Great Longbow Riders, really looking to contend that air supremacy that Tzeentch can so often take for granted. As for the items on Miao Ying, we are going to be seeing, of course, the Wrath of the Storm and her dragon transformation. She does have Earthblood for her spells, as well as the Talons of Night. Going to be getting some good damage with that, and that Earthblood, especially with those Great Longbow Riders, definitely going to be getting some good value out of them. As for the forces of Tzeentch, we're going to be contesting the center ground. We are going to be seeing quite a few horrors on the field, as we're going to be seeing blue horrors. I believe that is 4 units of those mixed in with some pink horrors as well. So it looks like 3 pink horrors, 4 blue horrors, and then up in the sky we do have 1 unit of the Chaos Furies with a Herald of Tzeentch for the Lord. The Herald is going to be bringing the Opal Amulet, getting that 20% damage resist every now and again. Locus of Conjuration, giving some nice power recharge. And then we also have the Chromatic Tome, which is a very excellent item for the Herald, just considering that shield will soak up any of that miscast damage if it does happen to miscast. We have the Pink Fire, the Blue Fire. Looks like we are seeing quite a few spells on this, probably a little bit on the newer for the players, but can we bring pretty much the whole kit on that Herald? Going to be a little bit more expensive on that, but let's get things moving as Grand Cathay is going to be moving on forward. Looks like they're going to be kind of trying to swing around with their mobile air squad. Going to be looking to just kind of attack from multiple fronts, as both sides just going to need to kind of slowly push up. They have quite a ways to go. The deployment zones are quite spread out in this map. Just takes quite some time, especially for the units of like Grand Cathay. They just don't have all that great speed, only 28 on their Jade Warriors, so they really just need to kind of slowly advance bit by bit. We are going to be seeing both sides having quite a bit of supplies already, sitting right about that 1k mark, so we'll be seeing some reinforcements coming in. And right now Tzeentch just has so many units. This is going to be more than enough to deal with those Jade Warriors. That's the just overwhelming volume of fire from these guys, so those Longbow Riders are going to have their work cut out for them to shut down as much as they can, as a few units are going to be peeled off on both sides to kind of take those lower grounds, just kind of hold them back from there. But we are going to be seeing the first reinforcements coming in from Cathay, and that is going to be a Fire Rain rocket. Going to be trying to get to that long range now. Against Tzeentch, Tzeentch doesn't really have anything with too great range, so these Fire Rain rockets, as long as we're able to kind of sit back and get some good shots, and they can generate some decent damage, but you don't often see them brought on the field. Cathay is going to be just holding this point back here while they kind of get the rest of their army kind of through that reinforcements, as they are woefully outmatched with what is on the other side. A couple of Screamers of Tzeentch are going to be kind of brought in to help deal with those Longbow Riders. They do have that bonus versus large and armor piercing, so they will be able to punch pretty decently against them, though they will still lose overall against those Longbow Riders. But with the fire support from the ground, that'll be a little bit easier for them. So as long as these Longbow Riders stay out of range of the Tzeentch forces, then they should be able to deal with that incoming air force fairly decently. But the opening of volleys is going to be underway, firing in, and Tzeentch is going to be kind of trying to slowly pull back now, kind of get out of range of that rocket fire, and just kind of regen that shield, because that's all the damage that's really been done so far. It's been able to bring down the shield on one of these blue horrors, and now it's going to start poking away, doing some decent damage there. Looks like we have some more reinforcements coming in on the far side, and I think we're going to be seeing some exalted pink horrors, so tons of range already going to be hitting the field against Cathay, but Cathay is going to be bringing in some peasant archers of their own, and the air squad is going to be getting underway as Miao Ying comes to the assistance of the Longbow Riders, who looks like they did get charged, so they are going to be missing out on that, but they are handling themselves fairly decently. But with Miao Ying in support, they should be able to help peel off these Screamers, and especially once these Harpies are done there. These Harpies really aren't going to be able to do much against those Longbow Riders, except delay them while these 2 Screamers try and deal with the Longbow Riders. We have some peasant archers as well, going to be kind of turning their attention that way to kind of help with that air squad. But it looks like these longbow riders, for the most part, have things under control. And both sides have capped the points 1 and 3. They'll be generating a little bit of points on that side, as the rockets going to be targeting the Herald. Definitely doesn't want to be targeting those single entities, and the Herald is going to be kind of moving forward, going to be trying to get some damage in. Looks like we have a spell going off on to a Miao Ying, the Glean Magic, which is going to be reducing that power recharge and power reserves. Not necessarily the worst spell there, because it's going to be kind of draining the availability of magic from Grand Cathay, and just kind of allowing all of that from the Herald. And the Herald does have the army ability to help kind of regen even some more magic, so that'll be a good kind of bring back with some of that wins that was spent on that, hurting Cathay and helping out their own. Pink Horrors are now going to be getting into range, and are going to start opening up on to the Great Longbow Riders, who have taken a lot of damage, but overall they've been able to generate some pretty good value overall. Well, actually not so much for them themselves, but they have been able to deal with 2 of the Screamers, so that's 1,400 points in total from just those units, as they're now going to be looking to try and probably shut down these Pink Horrors. They probably prioritize these Exalted Pink Horrors, try and get on top of them. But this is a very nicely tight packed formation, as Miao Ying is going to be returning to her human form right into the middle to get access to more of her spells, as all of these units are just going to be kind of slowly condensing upon her, which would be an excellent time for that Storm of Talons, which will be getting a ton of value, especially considering all of their shields are pretty much already popped, and that should just be able to kind of clear out all of those blue horrors. Doesn't look like the Winds of Magic are not quite there for Cathay to get that. We do have these Doom Knights of Tzeentch, though, and with how damaged these Great Longbow Riders are, these Doom Knights should have no problem dealing with them, as the other Longbow Riders are going to be getting a nice little rear charge, but Screamers are also here to support, and there is that Talons, as it is going to just wreck all of these blue horrors, causing every single one of them to crumble away, and that is going to open up the door to get into those Pink Horrors and shut those down. So very excellent cast there, as we do have some Peasant Horsemen looking to contend those Blue Horrors, but we do have some more Screamers streaming in through the reinforcement pool. Longbow Riders have been pushed up, but we have some more reinforcements coming in to help deal with those Doom Knights and those Screamers, because right now the Cathay Air Force is in dire straits right now, but this nice charge in from the 3rd unit of Longbow Riders should help in that regard, and we have a few more units kind of coming back, but a little bit of air support would not go amiss with some of these peasant archers kind of coming in and supporting that air squad. But right now, the center ranks, the infantry, is kind of going the way of Cathay right now, with that one spell just deleting those 3 units of blue horrors. Now it is really opening up the door into those Pink Horrors. Now Pink Horrors, no slouches in melee, but this Firestorm rocket has done an excellent job of really making sure all of those shields stay down, and we get one spell going off onto those peasant spearmen, just kind of slowing them down, keeping them from getting on top of these Pink Horrors, and doing quite a bit of damage in the meantime. Should be able to kind of push these guys back, and it does look like both of those units do end up routing and are going to be keeping these Pink Horrors online and operational. As we swing back to that Air Force, we have more of the returning Great Longbow Riders coming in to assist, but these Doom Knights are staying alive very well and dishing out some pretty decent damage to the superior numbers of these Great Longbow Riders. Screamers of Tzeentch also are going to be doing rather well in that regard. Miao Ying is going to be taking a few shots from the Herald of Tzeentch, but with her up in the sky once again, she can kind of dictate a little bit more of that field of play, especially with the Longbow Riders tying up everything else for Tzeentch on the far side, as they are slowly whittling down these Doom Knights, and those archers are getting some shots off up into the sky, getting some decent damage onto there, and assisting those Longbow Riders, really trying to win that engagement. And Miao Ying does catch her prey on the ground. The Herald of Tzeentch is going to be pursued by the Storm Dragon herself. Going to be doing some good work there, and hopefully get rid of some of the spellcasting for Tzeentch. Looks like it's having a little hard time getting any attacks off onto that Herald. Is kind of pushing them around. But on to the ground, the forces of Cathay have been able to really isolate these blue horrors, and are just kind of slowly grinding them down. One is going to detach, though, and is going to be looking to cap that 3rd point, as Tzeentch does have the advantage. They do have that center point, but that is quickly falling to Cathay, as these blue, or the Flamers of Tzeentch, are going to be getting a very nice volley off onto these peasant long spearmen, and that's going to be breaking them outright, and they'll be turning their attention now probably to these Jade Warriors and the rest of the infantry. But everything is grouped up upon Miao Ying, the Storm Dragon, and those Fire Rain Rockets can be doing some excellent work there, but her target is going to be wanting to be at Herald of Tzeentch. But of course, with these Flamers so close, she does have to be very mindful of them. They can do quite a bit of damage, and that volley going to be just wrecking through these Jade Warriors, doing untold amounts of damage to them, and that might be just enough to kind of push them back. And Tzeentch still holds it, but Grand Cathay does finally take the point, and Miao Ying is now on top of these Flamers, but is going to be taking quite a bit of shots from these 2 units of Blue Horrors, as well as the Herald of Tzeentch, who has gone to ground to just kind of try and get some support from its own infantry. But Cathay is coming in with more and more on the ground. We have a unit of Grand Cannons as well, going to be rolling on in. 2 units of Jade Warriors with Halberds, really looking to now hold that center point against anything that Tzeentch can throw at it. And Tzeentch is able to kind of deal with these Fire Rain Rockets, with those Chaos Furies, and they have been looking like to have won that air battle in the end, but they did lose those Chaos Doom Knights in return. And Tzeentch now is still ahead in that total points, but they are quickly losing ground. They don't have a whole lot of units really on the field at this point. They are dealing with kind of the artillery in the back, so these Furies should be able to deal with those cannons fairly well. But the center ranks, there's really nothing here to take that point back from Cathay. Cathay has some very strong units left on the field with the Jade Warriors. They have taken a decent amount of damage so far. These Flamers need to get shut down as quickly as they can, and a very beautiful pink fire going to be wrecking right through all of these units. It looks like we're going to be getting some more of that army abilities going to be dropping down on top of these units. Going to be getting a bit more damage, but Earthblood is also going down, trying to heal up what they can from Miao Ying, who did return to her human form to be able to cast that spell. Flamers diving in, but this is not the engagement that they necessarily want to be taken against those Jade Warriors. Jade Warriors will be able to punch very easily against them. The Flamers, though, can be getting a nice little flanking shots here as they get a beautiful volley right into those Jade Warriors, but it looks like the Great Cannon is still online, firing into them, trying to bring them down, but a beautiful few salvos from them. They've done some pretty decent work, haven't really been able to get shut down by Cathay so easily. They kind of take a look on, just seeing if there's anything else. The Jade Warriors still holding back that rear line. Longbow Riders return onto the field, and some Jade Warriors as well can be coming in for support for the forces of Grand Cathay. We are going to be getting some Pink Horrors and Blue Horrors coming in for Tzeentch as well, as they're going to be looking to kind of fire in upon the infantry. Now, there isn't a lot left in terms of staying power. These Jade Warriors have taken quite a bit of damage from those Flamers, finally able to bring them to heal, but there isn't a whole lot that can really hold things back. So if Tzeentch has plenty of units kind of coming into the center point, but they are going to need to take more than 1 point. They still have a bit of time, but they're going to need at least either 1 or 3, especially considering Cathay has just taken 3 from them, so they'll need to send some units down there. Some Screamers should have no problem dealing with those 2 Peasant Horsemen. And with that point over there, a single unit of Blue Horse should be able to cap that back, no problems whatsoever. But I guess really the problem here is going to be Miao Ying. When she does go into her Storm Dragon, puts quite a bit of a threat onto that Herald and a lot of the backline units for Tzeentch. And the longer that Tzeentch waits to kind of put on the pressure here, the more units from Cathay are going to be able to kind of come in and support the already pretty beat down units that they have left. Pink Horrors are going to start opening up into those Peasant Log Spearmen, and these Blue Horrors are going to now be starting to contest that second point as they slowly take it back from Grand Cathay. But just the sheer volume of firepower from what they have here should be able to whittle down these units pretty quickly. Jade Warriors are not going to be able to really have any missile block chance. And in the back here, we are seeing another unit of Fire Rain Rockets going to be getting some shots off. Doom Knights actually still were around at some point, trying to take care of them, but they do fall to the reinforcements that Cathay has been able to bring to the field. Jade Warriors are able to get into the melee range, and now with these Longbow Riders, they are going to be able to help shut down these Pink Horrors, diving straight on top of them, and are going to be getting some very good damage considering their shield had gone down, and the increasing fire coming in from those Fire Rain Rockets are going to continue to pepper. It might do a little bit of friendly damage, but it looks like they may have kind of started to target those Blue Horrors, but getting things taken care of in the rear line. Cathay is able to kind of really make a resurgence, and with that point total, there is no way really back for Tzeentch at this point. They do bring in some Doom Knights, take care of the units on 3, but it's a little too late, and Cathay is going to be able to pull things off. So let's take a look at that after battle report, see how things did fare on both sides. So for Miao Ying, able to get quite a few kills, not a whole lot of value, only 1900, which is still respectable, but most of those kills were all from those initial blue horrors, which she is absolutely deleted. Longbow Riders doing okay. One unit did almost pay for itself, other was a little on the short side. For the reinforcements, the fire rain rockets did remarkable good work, getting over 3,000, 3365. Some very, very good damage there. Definitely a unit that you need to shut down. And Tzeentch usually has like the Chaos Furies, the Screamers. The Chaos Furies actually did really, really well, 1,500. This reinforcement Longbow Riders didn't do all too great. And then the rest of the units of Cathay getting some decent work with the Peasant Archers. Just that, again, volume of fire, getting some good work there. And this is kind of overwhelming with numbers, but really those fire rain rockets, so much damage. Definitely the unit for Cathay here in this fight. As for Tzeentch, the Herald of Tzeentch able to get a ton of kills, but only 1363 in total damage value. And again, those Furies did excellent work, and they are very good against Cathay in general, because they can dive down and do a lot of damage and take, and especially with that barrier, they're able to kind of take that initial salvo from many of Cathay's range units. As for the flyers, the Doom Knights of Tzeentch did really well, traded very excellently into those great Longbow Riders, and then some reinforcements came in a little late. But then the rest of the units, the Flamers would have expected maybe a little bit better value out of them, considering some of the salvos that they got, but not too many value there. And again, the Screamers of Tzeentch also doing very good work between those two, and they do, like the Screamers and the Furies are really what makes kind of Tzeentch pretty fearsome against Cathay. As you can just see the values from those units, so a little bit more on that side from the armies, and I think they could have had a much better shot against Cathay here. But that is all I'm going to have for today. I do hope you enjoyed the video, and as always, have a good one.